Hi, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at some senator and governor approval ratings, and this usually happens about every quarter from Morning Consult or Morning Consult. So this was released a few weeks ago, and the survey was from August through October. So is it the most current information? Probably not. But is it something to take a look at? Sure. So let's scroll down and get into the full list. So who's going to be the most popular U.S. senator? Well, that honor goes to John Barrasso from Wyoming. He's not a household name, and it's not an overly populated state, but whatever Barrasso is doing, it seems to be working. He's pretty much the Phil Scott of Wyoming. 73% approve, only 16% disapprove. Right behind him, Brian Schatz in Hawaii. And if you're from Wyoming, in third place, you've got your other senator there. That's Cynthia Lummis. Jon Tester in Montana. That's a key name. He's in fourth place. And Angus King in Maine round out the top five. So feel free to pause if you'd like to look through this some more. And as usual, the links will be down below in the description. So most of these senators do have a net positive rating. So who's all the way at the bottom? Well, there's a couple of viable candidates, but it's pretty overwhelming. It's actually Mitch McConnell in Kentucky. McConnell has seemingly managed to get almost everybody against him. He only has a 29% approval rating against a 65% disapproval. He's not up for re-election, so it doesn't really matter, and I would guess he's going to retire as it is, but the minority leader, not looking good in Kentucky. Above Mitch, we've got the new senator from California, LaFonza Butler. 47% have no opinion of her, but she does have a 31% approval, 22 disapprove. The third least popular senator, that is going to be Bob Menendez of New Jersey. I think at the next poll, it'll be interesting to see what Menendez's approval is at. Right now, it's definitely low, but he's only had a net 10 disapproval rating at 36 approve, 46 disapprove. Above Menendez, we've got Thom Tillis in North Carolina, and rounding out the bottom five is Ron Johnson in Wisconsin. He's at 39 approve and 49 disapprove. Johnson has always had shaky approval ratings, but he did manage to win in the midterms, so who knows what it really means for Johnson. Now, if we go down and take a look at the senators that are up for re-election in 2024, here they are all right here. We've got the extremes of Barrasso in positive territory and Menendez all the way down at the bottom. Rounding out the bottom five that are going to be up for re-election are Sinema, Manchin, Jackie Rosen, and Josh Hawley. So this is just one poll. Morning Consult has been hit or miss. You might disregard the poll. You might think it's your favorite. Either way, this is just to take a look at some comprehensive data and see where things are at. There's more to look at here, and we're going to take a look at the governors in a couple minutes, but I'm going to keep it moving and pull up this list of the U.S. senators that are doing the least in office. So the opening paragraph, this says government records show that the Senate spent an average of 999 hours in session per year between 2013 and 2022. That is down from an annual average of 1,163 hours from 2003 to 2012. Additionally, the Senate passed 1,489 public laws in the last 10 years, 615 fewer than in the preceding 10 years. So with that preface out of the way, they use data from the federal government's congressional database, and they rank them on an equally weighted index composed of the number of bills they sponsored between January 2019 and October 2023, and the number of those bills that became law. And they only consider the 81 senators that had been in office since 2019 or earlier. So again, the links will be down below, so feel free to hit all of it. But to speed things up, let's quickly hit up the top five that are apparently doing the least. Number 5, we've got Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia. During this nearly 5-year span, she sponsored 114 bills. Only one of those became law, and here her approval rating is 48 approve, 36 disapprove. Number 4 is Mike Crapo of Idaho. He's got 111 bills sponsored, and again, just one of those became law, and his approval is 46 to 40. Number 3 is Mitch McConnell. 123 bills sponsored, and a whopping 0 that became law, 32 approve, 61 disapprove. Number 2, we've got Mitt Romney. 109 bills sponsored, 0 became law, 50% approve, 41% disapprove. And the number 1 senator, according to this, that has done the least while in office is Cindy Hyde Smith of Mississippi. She has 84 bills sponsored, 0 that became law, 43% approve, and 39% disapprove. Somebody's got to be on the bottom. Looks like this time it's Hyde Smith, but we could also take a look and see which senators are doing the most well in office. Again, you could look at the introduction here, and when you look at an exhaustive list like this, there's always going to be a surprise or two where you think, wow, I did not realize they did so much or so little. So let's get down to the top 5 who are doing the most. Number 5, it's Amy Klobuchar in Minnesota. She's got 492 bills sponsored, 7 that have become law, 53% approve, 36 disapprove. Number 4, it's John Cornyn in Texas. He sponsored 408 bills. 21 of those became law. His approval is 43, disapproval 35. Number 3, it's Marco Rubio. A massive 771 bills sponsored. 12 of those became law. His approval rating is 50%, 38 disapprove. Number 2, it's Mike Lee in Utah. He's got 1,088 bills sponsored, but only 4 of those became law. 49 approve, 39 disapprove. So which senator is going to be number 1? This time that is going to be Gary Peters of Michigan. 401 bills sponsored, 30 became law. His approval is 43, disapproval 31. So those are the two extremes of what's going on in the Senate. We've got approval ratings and level of activity. There's always a lot more you could take a look at, but I do want to get in the governor's approval ratings. For that, we're going to take a look at the Morning Consult slide that shows all 50 governors, and the most popular governor is not a surprise in the least. That is going to be Phil Scott in Vermont. His approval rating is an astronomical 84%. Only 13% disapprove. Second place is Mark Gordon at 74%. Josh Green in Hawaii is in third place. Then Chris Sununu in fourth. Kay Ivey in Alabama. Rounding out the top 10 with stellar approval ratings all over 60%, it's Kristi Noem, Jared Polis, Ned Lamont, Jim Justice, and Spencer Cox. Very impressive for those top 10. Now on the flip side, we got to look at the bottom. You probably already looked ahead. It's Tate Reeves in Mississippi. He's at 45% approve, 46% disapprove. That's a net 1% disapproval rating. Above Reeves is Tina Kotek in Oregon, Kim Reynolds in Iowa, John Bel Edwards in Louisiana, and Katie Hobbs in Arizona. So those governors not really doing well with the voters of their state. Now if we round out the top 10 of the least popular governors, we've got Jay Inslee in Washington, Dan McKee in Rhode Island, Tony Evers in Wisconsin, Michelle Lujan Grisham in New Mexico, and Mike Parson in Missouri. But even Mike Parson there looking pretty good at 50% approve, 37 disapprove. Grisham in New Mexico had a scandal a couple of months ago. She went too far with a gun ban. That was overturned in the court. I know there was talk of impeachment there. I'm not sure if there's an update to any of that situation, but either way, that's all 50 governors. And again, this is one poll. It was taken between August and October. There are going to be other polls from time to time from other pollsters or local outlets in each state. Those I would always recommend taking a look at. You do want to have multiple polls and multiple sources, but this is a fairly recent look at where things stand on approval ratings for senators and governors. Feel free to draw your own conclusions as to why they are the way that they are, but I'm going to leave it there and let me know in the comments. How are your senators and governors' approval ratings? And what do you think about any of the vulnerable senators that are up for re-election in 2024? And will the approval ratings of any of these governors affect anything? Maybe the more popular ones could actually run for the Senate, and maybe the ones at the bottom could drag down the ticket. Let me know down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Feel free to join if you'd like to support the channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.